Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to English Sprout TV. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. Today we're tackling something that confuses almost every intermediate learner I meet.
Let me guess. Would have.
Exactly. Specifically, would have plus a past participle, or as some of you might know it, the third conditional.
Ooh, fancy grammar term.
But here's the thing, you don't need to know it's called the third conditional to use it perfectly in real life. You just need to understand when and why native speakers reach for would have.
Today, we're breaking down 3 major uses of would have plus past participle. We'll give you tons of examples, common mistakes to avoid, and by the end, you'll actually feel confident using this structure.
And stick around until the end. We have a little quiz to test what you've learned. Ready, Alex?
Born ready. Let's sprout some English.
Okay, before we dive into the 3 uses, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what this structure actually looks like.
Right. The basic formula is would have plus past participle.
So that gives us things like would have gone, would have eaten, would have studied, would have been.
Would have been is super common, so we're giving it special attention today.
Now, here's the most important thing to understand. Would have plus past participle always talks about something that did not happen in the past. It's about imaginary, unreal, or hypothetical situations in the past.
Think of it as a time machine that only goes backwards. You're looking at a past moment and imagining a different outcome.
Exactly. And because we're talking about something unreal, we need 2 parts to build this sentence. We need the if clause, the condition, and we need the result clause, what would have happened.
Let me give the simplest example possible. Imagine I didn't study for my exam and I failed.
Classic Alex.
Hey, this is hypothetical. So I say, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam.
Perfect. Let's break that down. If I had studied, that's the past perfect in the if clause. It sets up the unreal condition.
And I would have passed, that's our main structure today, the result that didn't happen.
Notice something important here. The past reality is that Alex did not study and did not pass. The would have sentence imagines the opposite.
So every time you use would have, you're basically saying, in reality, this didn't happen, but in my imagination, it did.
That's the golden rule. Tattoo it on your brain.
All right, let's get into our first and most common use of would have, imaginary past situations. This is what grammar books call the third conditional, but we just call it talking about what didn't happen.
Native speakers use this all the time. When you hear someone say, I would have, they're almost always talking about a past regret, a missed opportunity, or a different choice they wish they'd made.
Let's build some examples together. Emma, give me a real situation.
Okay, yesterday it rained heavily. I didn't bring an umbrella, so I got completely soaked.
Ouch. So how would you express that with would have?
If I had brought an umbrella, I wouldn't have gotten so wet.
Nice. And notice Emma used the negative, wouldn't have gotten. That's super common too.
Right. The formula stays the same, would have plus past participle, but we can make it negative with wouldn't have or would not have.
Let's do another one. Imagine you missed the bus this morning because you woke up late.
If I had woken up earlier, I would have caught the bus.
Perfect. Now, let's make this feel more natural. Native speakers often drop the if clause when the context is obvious.
Oh, that's a great point. If we're already talking about the rain, I could just say, I would have bought an umbrella if I'd known it was going to rain.
Or even shorter, I would have brought an umbrella, but I didn't check the weather.
So the if part isn't always necessary. Sometimes the unreal past situation is already clear from the conversation.
Let's do a few more rapid-fire examples. Listeners, repeat these after us if you can.
If she had arrived on time, she would have met the famous actor.
They would have won the match if they had practiced more.
I would have called you, but my phone died.
We would have stayed longer if we hadn't had to catch a flight.
He would have been promoted if he had finished the project on time.
Did you catch that last one? He would have been promoted. That's would have been, which is the passive form. We'll come back to that.
Now, Alex, what's a common mistake learners make with this structure?
Oh, I've got a big one. A lot of learners mix up the tenses in the if clause and the result clause.
Right. They might say something like, if I would have studied. No, that's wrong.
Very wrong. In the if clause, you use the past perfect, if I had studied, not if I would have studied.
This is probably the most common error with third conditionals. Remember, would have goes in the result clause, never in the if clause.
Let's hear the wrong version and the right version side by side.
Wrong. If I would have known, I would have told you.
Right. If I had known, I would have told you.
One more time. If she would have arrived earlier, no.
If she had arrived earlier, she would have seen the show.
Great. So use past perfect in the if clause, would have in the result clause. Got it?
Okay, moving on to use number 2. This one is really interesting because we use would have to give advice or criticism about past actions, often things that someone else did.
Right. Imagine your friend made a decision and you want to say, in your position, I would have done something different. That's this use.
Let's say your coworker sent an angry email to the boss and got in trouble. You might say,
I wouldn't have sent that email if I were you.
notice something here. Emma said, if I were you. That's a classic phrase we pair with this structure when giving advice.
Exactly. I would have waited until tomorrow. I would have talked to him in person. I would have thought about it more carefully.
All of these are saying, you did X, but if I were in your shoes, I would have done Y instead.
And this can be gentle advice or pretty strong criticism depending on your tone.
Let's hear the difference. Gentle advice. I would have double-checked the numbers before sending the report.
Stronger criticism. You really shouldn't have done that. I would have refused outright.
Ooh, would have refused outright. That's firm.
Here's another context. Talking about historical events or decisions. The government would have saved millions if they had acted sooner.
Or the team would have succeeded if the manager had listened to the warnings.
So this use isn't just personal advice. It can apply to companies, governments, historical figures, anyone who made a past decision.
Let's practice with some fill-in-the-blank examples. Emma will start the sentence and you try to finish it.
My friend bought a cheap car that broke down immediately. I would have...
Spent a bit more money on a reliable one.
Good. She argued with her neighbor over a parking space. I would have...
Apologized and moved my car. Not worth the stress.
The restaurant served cold food. We would have...
Asked for a refund or would have left without paying.
Careful with that last one, Alex.
Just kidding, mostly.
All right, our third and final use is a bit more subtle. We use would have to speculate or express uncertainty about past events, often in a polite or tentative way.
This is when we're not 100% sure what happened, but we want to make an educated guess.
For example, she would have been about 25 when she started the company.
Emma isn't certain of the exact age. She's making a reasonable guess based on what she knows.
Right. Or, the meeting would have finished by now, so let's head to the conference room.
You're not at the meeting, but based on the schedule, you assume it's over.
Another one, they would have received the package yesterday, but I'm not sure.
This is really useful when you want to sound careful and not too absolute. Instead of saying they received the package, which sounds like a fact, you say they would have received it, which sounds like a thoughtful guess.
Native speakers use this all the time in professional and social situations. It softens your statement.
Before we wrap up, let's quickly review the 3 biggest mistakes learners make with this structure.
Mistake number 1, using would have in the if clause.
If I would have known, never do this.
If I had known.
Mistake number 2, forgetting the past participle.
I would have go. No.
I would have gone. Always need that third form.
Mistake number 3, mixing up real and unreal conditionals.
If you're talking about something that really happened or is likely to happen, don't use would have. Save it for imaginary past situations only.
Real situation, if it rains, I will stay home. First conditional.
Unreal past. If it had rained, I would have stayed home. Third conditional. Different structures for different realities.
All right, time for our quiz. We'll give you a situation and you try to complete the sentence using would have plus past participle. Pause the video if you need time.
Question 1. I didn't eat breakfast, so I felt hungry all morning. Complete. If I blank breakfast, I blank hungry all morning.
Answer: if I had eaten breakfast, I wouldn't have felt hungry all morning.
Question 2. She didn't take the job offer and now she regrets it. Complete. She blank the job if she blank how good the salary was.
Answer: she would have taken the job if she had known how good the salary was.
Question 3. We arrived late and missed the beginning of the movie. Complete. If we blank earlier, we blank the beginning.
Answer: if we had arrived earlier, we would have seen the beginning.
Question 4. He didn't study medicine, so he didn't become a doctor. Complete. He blank a doctor if he blank medicine.
Answer: he would have been a doctor if he had studied medicine.
Question 5. I'm not sure, but I think the store closed at 8 p.m. Complete. The store blank by now.
Answer: the store would have closed by now. That's our speculative use.
How did you do? Let us know in the comments.
Great job sticking with us through this grammar deep dive. Would have plus past participle is tricky, but once you get the hang of it, you'll hear it everywhere.
Remember the 3 uses: imaginary past situations, giving advice or criticism about the past, and polite speculation.
And don't forget our golden rule. Would have always talks about something that did not happen.
If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to English Sprout TV, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson.
Drop a comment using would have in a sentence about your own life. We'll reply and correct a few.
And check out our website for transcripts, worksheets, and bonus exercises.
Thanks for learning with us today. Keep sprouting your English. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
See ya.